there somewhere. And for me, like I was reading this book by Ryan Holiday, and he said you should be three people. And I talked to you about this before, where it's like it's somebody you should be around somebody that's better than you, way better than you. You should be around somebody that's neck and neck with you. Y'all split an image of each other, and then you need somebody that's under you because you can learn from all three. Like the person that you teaching, you learning how to teach. The person that's equal as you, you're trying to keep up. So y'all both just going neck and neck. And then there's a person that's better than you that you're trying to aspire to be like. So for me, I don't look at myself as some type of person who's better, or I don't need to learn something from everybody, because you never or ever in life gonna know everything. So there has to be some type of opening where it's a vessel of you to be able to listen. You know what I mean? Yeah.
The power of being alone. We talk about recognizing the problem, because that is the most simplistic way to get over issues. If you can recognize the problem you're having with people, with yourself, with your life, with your thoughts, if you can recognize the problem, you create the solutions that fix the problem. Point blank period. If you can recognize that your car needs brakes, that should be life's goals, to recognize the problem. So what do we do when we realize that our car needs brakes? We take it to a mechanic who fixes brakes. Fix the problem. The solution is there. We have to be able to recognize the problem and create plans and solutions to fix it. It's just simple as that. We can't overcomplicate things. If you're not if you're unhappy, find the reason why you're unhappy and fix it. Stop overcomplicating life and making it more complex than it has to be.
I find myself like trying to be a people pleaser. Like I want to please everybody. But when I started to realize that that's morbidly impossible, right, to even be able to do that, and then it started to be to a point where it's like, I add value to anything and everything that I do. If I'm in your life, you got a better life, and that's just the confidence. You're a better person. You're a better person if I'm in your life.
Welcome to Whitted Media. I want to introduce my bro, good friend of mine, guy I've known a long time, author, podcast, motivational speaker, professor, doctor. You got doctorate yet? Therapist. You know, my man Chad Black, man. What's going on, man?
Well, first of all, I just want to say I appreciate you for giving me this opportunity. Number one, it's something I'm not going to say that I'm not fond of, but I haven't done yet. And the anticipation of it from the beginning was very, very heart pounding. And I appreciate you for taking the time to even put me on this platform.
My bro, man. You know what I'm saying? No problem, man. I appreciate you, man. The way that you just be serving, man, and the information that you give out. And that's why I had to throw that last few seconds on there when you said, if I'm in your life, I make it better. And it's wild because I feel like the average person might listen to that and feel like, who do you think he is? You know what I'm saying? Like, is he cocky? But I can just tell that you're that guy. And stop me if I'm wrong. I could tell that you're that guy in the circle that everybody can come to. You know, the person that got the answers, the person that can help everyone. You know what I'm saying? Like, am I wrong? Like,
no, I ain't stopped you yet. Go, keep going. No, I mean, it's not a cockiness. It's an understanding of my heart. I don't have. It's really it's not about being cocky. It's about the understanding of my heart. I have no malice in my heart to like do people wrong. So if I'm in your life, it's better, because if you call me and say I need my snow is piled up, I know somebody or know something, or I got some type of encouragement to make your life better. You know, if your life is on a 1 and I add 1 cent to that, or 1%, your life is on a 2, your life is better. So that's just, I add value to anything that I do. So if I'm in your life, you got a better life because I know my heart is pure. That's basically what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm the shit. I'm not the best person in the world. I'm not saying that.
Okay. And I think that's dope. But the wildest part about that is, right, is, and you might, and I think you've solved it because this is one of the chapters in your book. And this goes out to those people out there who you're the one who everybody depends on. Everybody comes to you. Seems like everybody needs your help. And I feel like sometimes these people, when it's time for you to need help or you to need information, there's not always people around. It's lonely at the top. Do you feel like you have folks in your life? I mean, I know you're married, so you know maybe your lady is that. Do you feel like you have people that you can go to?
Yeah, for sure. I just never unpack everything on everybody. I kind of segregate information for the person. Like if you fix cars, I'm going to ask you about my brakes because I know that's what you're into. You know what I mean? And I'm very particular at who I give my information to because I'm a self-healer in a sense. Like Drake said this a while ago. He was like, you worry about what's going on the internet, but you got to put that 72-hour rule where the first day you might be mad, but then 48 hours later, how do you feel? You might still be mad, but you're not as mad as you was on the first 24. And then 72 hours, do you even care about what happened 2 days ago? So for me, I try not to go off the lid on things. So I really try to take a lot of time to ask myself questions before I even associate anybody else with what I'm going through, because I got to figure out, why am I so mad? Am I mad? Why am I mad? Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel like I deserve this information versus the information that I got? What happened? So I'm really good at just decompressing myself. So a lot of times it takes me away from even asking for advice in those regards because I pretty much handle it myself. But I do have people that I go to. Everybody has to go to somebody. You know what I mean? So,
and I think one of your chapters pretty much breaks that down. And I think that this chapter, I don't know how much you want to get into the book, but this chapter really, I think, breaks that down. Being able to assess the problem. Let me see what's the name of that chapter?
Recognize the problem.
Recognizing the problem. And I think this is a conversation that our community needs to have. Not even just our community. I think any maybe middle class to lower to poor, I feel like where I come from, where you come from, a lot of people who could be successful, who have a lot of potential, there's something that might just be in the way of them in that success. Would you agree? But it's hard to have the awareness to assess the problems. You know what I mean? Like you were talking about in your book, the kidney, looking back on family health issues, being able to say, you know what, this might be an issue. Alcohol, this might be an issue. If this was an issue to all my uncles and aunts, it might be an issue for me. I think it takes a special kind of person to recognize that. You know what I'm saying? Would you agree? Because and that was my thing about that chapter. I'm like, this is needed, but how do we get people to recognize their own problems?
I mean, you might have went a little bit more complex on it because I think you're speaking more so on the things that you can't visualize. I was speaking on the more dumbed down version of the things that you know. Like you're not a morning person.
Okay.
So you recognize that you don't get up early. So create a solution to get up early. Your brakes are squeaking. You know the problem. I'm talking to the people that know, like, you need brakes. So since you need brakes, take it to a mechanic who fix brakes. Like, let's not make these things so complex where it's so easy and minimal to understand. So when you're talking about the problems that you might talk about where it might be a little complex, yeah, it's hard to recognize problems when you don't recognize it as being a problem. I'm speaking on the problems that you know. Now, the things that you don't know will go probably to another chapter we talked about in the book would be question everything. So like my last 3 relationships, if you question, my last 3 relationships ended the same way. Why? That's where that self-reflection comes in and say, if these last 3 relationships ended the same way, and then all my friends keep telling me the same thing about me, but I'm not recognizing it, that's where I feel like it's complex because you don't want to realize the issues that you have amongst yourself. You become blank.
That's deep. So has there been a number of moments in your life where you've recognized, oh shoot, I'm the one on the out? Because you say that, these last 3 relationships, you know what I mean, made you realize, do you feel like you were the center of the problem? You?
I mean, every issue is 2 issues. Like, so I'm definitely the problem. I don't know if I'm the reason, but I'm a problem. But like, you gotta pay attention. Like you just gotta pay attention. And that's the power of being alone. Being alone, you start to reflect. You start to think about, where's my life going? Where's my money going? Where's my happiness? Where is this? Where is that? You start to reflect on things when and that's crazy that you say that to me, Seth, because it's like, I can't speak for somebody else, but I question everything. And I look at things, and if 1 + 1 don't make 3, it don't add up. It don't make sense. I have to figure it out. So I'm trying to figure out the issues, and I blame myself for everything. If a person spit in my face, and I was talking to this girl on this podcast, it was like, I don't want to say I'm sorry. So I have to make the decisions based on what I can control and look at maybe I got too close to their face. Maybe I did this. What did I do? Because I'm not perfect. So something in there enticed that person to want to spit in my face. Did I roll my eyes? Not to say that what they did was warranted, but you always got to look at yourself and say, what did you do? Because or has there ever been a time in life where any argument you had with your wife or friends or whatever that you were 100% innocent? We add something to it. Like, we know how to antagonize or protagonize something. So I look at things and I just look at self-evaluating the only things that I can control, and that's just me.
Wow. Bro, that's honestly, it may sound so simple, but I think it's so profound because I think if you think in a sense of, people who go through sexual abuse, domestic relationships, even being Black people who, we've been disenfranchised. It's like, although these may be the circumstances, if you just take responsibility for everything, you can change a lot, even if some things aren't your fault, man. So that's profound right there, man. But I want to introduce everybody to Chad Black, and the reason we're here today is because you dropped your first book,
bro.
First book, man. How does that feel, man? Is it surreal? First off, it's called The Power of Being Alone. Talk about this experience of your first book, man, and what created it, what led you here. Let's get into it.
I mean, this is the hardest thing I ever had to do in my life, right? I mean, to actually sit down and really put my thoughts that I really am so vulnerable about and that I keep to myself, to actually put them on paper and to hit publish, like to actually sit down and just like really get these thoughts out and type them. I really feel, because, me doing management with music and life and things like that, I finally get what you guys feel as artists. Like when you put out an album or you put out a song and it touches people and they can relate to it and they can play it. Like, this is my playing at the Garden, 15 seconds left, and I shoot and I hit the 3 and the crowd goes wild. I mean, because I poured my heart into it. And I just feel like some things just have a different vibe. Like, if you email somebody something, it feels different receiving an email than a text message. And they could say the same things, but it just seems like when somebody email you something, it just has a more positive or a more professional connotation with it than versus a text or something in a DM. So when I'm giving you a book that I wrote myself and you're reading it in whatever walk of life whether you in your bathroom or you at work or whether you walking down the street or you sitting at your dinner table, what I'm saying is reflecting and it's reflective and it's coming out, to you in your own way. And it's like, it's a different type of relationship you have with a reader and the author. It's like y'all become one. And like, if it resonates with you and these words are popping up to you, it gives me awe because it wasn't even intended for that. But like, it's just, this is probably like by far the greatest thing I ever did besides get married and have children, right? And I just been like, since it came out February 1st, man, I just been walking on clouds.
That's dope, man. That's definitely dope, man. I appreciate you for this, man, because I even created a list of people that I think is for the market. I believe like if someone might feel like, they're underwater, drowning, just, by life and not sure what's next, this book is for you. If you're someone that everyone depends on and you're trying to figure out, like, how can I lead from the front versus always being left behind? Because, when you say yes to everybody, you're giving away all your resources. And a lot of times you're not getting a lot done.
Right.
If you're someone who might not know what your purpose is, you want to figure that out, this is for you. If you feel worthless, depressed, anxiety, relationship issues, this book is for you. If you're an extremely talented and gifted person, you're trying to figure out which one of these multi-talented gifts are mine, this is for you. If you've been living in the wrong direction and you're trying to the list goes on, bro. Like, you really give this blueprint for how to sit down and figure out anything.
That's crazy. I didn't even look at it like that. You giving me like, even you saying it back to me, because that's what art is, right? Like, you know, you put art out there, and then like even Childish Gambino, when he put out This Is America video, he was doing all these interviews, and they were like, well, explain the video. And he said, no. And they're like, what? It's like, no, it's art. Like whatever you want it to be, it's going to be. So for you to give that back to me, you pouring back into me as I poured out to the world, you pour back to me, and you make me feel like, damn, this is like a versatile autobiography, fictional, motivational life story. Some girl said this is like, I didn't want to say a Bible, but she said this is a flat out constant reminder. It's so short, but it's straight to the point. And somebody else was like, you were able to really articulate yourself very fast and not give us 1,000 pages of extra stuff. Like you just got straight to the point. And I thought like I didn't give enough.
Like I be so pissed sometimes when I'm reading a book. Sometimes I'm reading a book. Like you ever go to YouTube and I be like, okay, I got a leak. Let me go figure out how to get to the leak. And I look and all the videos are 20 minutes. I'm like, what do we need 20 minutes for you to show me this? Then you find that 1 3-minute video and it's like, yo, go in here. Make sure the water's off. Go downstairs. Bop, take this out. Take this off. Make sure you go get this from Home Depot. Take this to them. About video's over. Right. That's what you did, bro. You like no fluff, no nothing, straight to the point. Boom, boom, boom. And like I said, it don't matter where you're at in your life. If you're a high school kid and you just want to figure out where should I go next, read this. If you're coming home from prison, you trying to figure out what's next. If you're going to law school and you're like, you know what, do I really want to go to law school? It don't matter what's going on in your life or what's you going through. This is a blueprint, your style that somebody else could adopt. They could take from this. This is what everybody's looking for. When they look at Kevin Hart and say, how can I become Kevin Hart? They wish Kevin Hart did this because this shows you the groundwork to get successful, to become this. You feel what I'm saying?
I feel that, bro. I'm so thankful and gracious for you to even say that, man, because like you never know what you're doing when you're doing it. You just doing what you're doing, and then it just gets legs for itself. And it's like I was able. The goal in the book is to make people think, just to think. The power of being alone could be bad, but we're trying to find the power in it. Like, what's the power of being alone? Self-reflection, figuring things out and thinking and questioning everything and recognizing the problem and saying no to the niggas or saying no nigga. And it's like, I encourage people to think. I challenge my kids all the time. When I ask them a question, they know it's 16 questions coming after that because I'm just challenging them just to think. Like, why did you put that dish in there? Does that make sense? Yes. Why? Because it is. And it's like, I'm not looking for, I don't know. I just want you to be calculated what you think. I was playing rock, paper, scissors with my daughter yesterday. We was at the doctor's waiting for the doctor to come in. And I'm just testing her. And we did rock, paper, scissors 10 times. And for 10 times, I just had paper 10 times. Paper in a row. And I was like, after the 5th time, why are you losing? She's like, I don't know. I said, that cannot be an answer. Everything has to be calculated. It can't be I don't know. Everything has to be a thought process. And like I say in the book, like, right, I don't know if you remember this part, but I said, I want my wife. I don't need my wife. Understand the definitions that you give words. What do you think about that?
That almost brings us to the controversy of yesterday. You know, Russell Wilson saying he needs Sierra, and that's his worst fear is her leaving. But when I read that, I think my mindset was, I mean, he's correct. Like that change of words, it literally changes your whole mindset. Like me and my wife are partners. Me and the homies were partners. I don't need y'all, but you know what I'm saying? I want, in order to succeed at different things, I want to be able to come together with y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's how I perceived it.
I mean, you spot on. I mean, it's all right. So whatever you feel is how you feel. But when we give words power, we give them more power than they actually deserve, and it changes our mindset. Like if you tell a woman about, and we talked about this on Clubhouse before, but submissive, you don't even know the right definition to get irritated when the guy say why you can't be submissive to your husband. I would never be. Do you know what it means? Right. So to want and to need are two different things. A friend of mine called me and said, you stopped me from smoking cigarettes from that line. I want my wife. I don't need my wife. I want cigarettes. I don't need cigarettes. I tell myself I need cigarettes, so that entices me to go smoke cigarettes because I tell myself I need them. Where is your self-independence when you know you need somebody? And also to the people out here who got bad men in their life or bad women, when a person feels like you need them, they treat you different.
They really do.
You need me. No, I want you to understand that everything what you need is like, let's really take a calendar, a bracket, and put wants and needs. I want a big house. I want a wife. I want a car. I don't need a big house. I don't need a car. I don't need a wife. I want my wife a lot. Like, I want her a lot. But to know what need is, you have to understand the differentiate, how to differentiate the words. I want you a whole lot. But need is air. Need is water. Need is food. What happens if you don't have water and food? You die. If I don't have my wife, some people are with their wives 100 years and then the wife died, they died 2 weeks later. I'm not talking about that. But let's just change the narrative of these words so that way we can be more powerful. Like, selfish. It's not a bad thing to be selfish. Don't make you, if somebody say you selfish, okay, I know I need this day to myself, so I don't want nobody around. I'm selfish. You know, so the power of being alone. What is alone? Alone. Don't tell me alone means lonely, because they're two different things.
It really is.
So it's just about redefining words and making sure that these words are putting them in a place. They get positions, not parts. That's what it's about. Just challenging people to think. That's all. I felt long-winded right there. My bad.
That's real, man. I think it really helps people see things differently, man, because like we said, there's always that one thing that might be standing in between you and where you want to be or where you need to be. And so let's talk about how you got to this book, man. And Hugo said it on the joint. You got sat down.
Yeah.
And that's something God will do. You know what I'm saying? Like, the power of being alone. This wasn't a choice, was it?
No, I had no choice. I mean, obviously, we all try to have control over our lives, but in this situation, I didn't have a choice. I caught COVID, right? And the COVID was so bad for me that it tore my kidneys up. And presently, right now, I just found out yesterday that I have escalated to stage 4 chronic kidney disease. So when I was in the hospital, my kidney functions was at 8. So people were like, all right, well, 8 out of what? It was like 8 out of 15, 8 out of 13, something like that. No, 8 out of 100. So I had 8% kidney function out of 100. The regular kidney is 100 or whatever. I had 8. So dehydrated, like my tongue looked like it was a white carpet. Like I couldn't swallow a cracker. Like I had every symptom that COVID had except lost its smell and taste. And excruciating pains, fever, inside out, sweating both sides, inside and out. And I had to go to the hospital. And my wife took me. All I had was my phone charger and my phone. And I was in the hospital by myself. Couldn't have nobody come see you. Couldn't have nobody, chill with me. Like the nurses didn't even come in the rooms. Like, so at that point, the book was created right there, because it's like you're all by yourself. You have nobody to blame. It's nothing. Like people ask you the most depressing questions when they're trying to be helpful, right? They don't even know that they're asking you questions that's really killing you. Do you know where you caught it from? What difference do it make where I caught COVID from? Because it don't have no social security number or barcode. But what does that do for me trying to figure out where the hell it came from? I got it. Like, it's not like you find out who gave it to you and then you can press a button and give it back. So like, people didn't know how to take it, but it forced you to be in a room. Like, that's when I was like, yo, you sitting down. What you gonna do with this time? Like, you gotta do something. You just gonna sit here, have a peasy head, peasy face, breath stink, all that? You gotta do something. So what are you gonna do? And then all of the ideas started to just come from just me sitting in there, just doodling, man. It was like, I haven't ever been to prison, but it was like being in a psych ward. Like, you in a room with like a bucket. I had a commode, no running water. Like, I had running water, but I had a sink. But you got a piss cup. You got to pee in a cup, and then they come take the piss and pour it out and give you the cup back. And like a TV, and it's just like darkness. So what you gonna do in that time? You gonna blame everybody, or you gonna try to make the best of your situations? And that's basically how the book was created.
That's wild, man. That is wild. So what came first? Was it the routine that led to the book, or what hit and said, you know what, I need to write the book? Like I get that it was like, yo, I need to make the most of this time, but what connected there that led you to this? Because something powerful came out. Like, what clicked?
Man.
Can you even explain that?
So even every chapter that's in the or excerpt or however you want to call it, passage, was something that I experienced. I was drinking water. Like it just started to, when you living in your purpose, things come to you and you can't take credit. I can't take credit, bro, and say that I'm just mad scientist who created this crazy analytical thought process to be who no. I sat down and God gave me a pen. That's it. Drink water. It's basically me drinking water. Like this, when I say clean as you go, that's just me looking and seeing how dirty my room get when you do nothing. Do you know what it's like to not be prepared for your blessing because you're not prepared for it? Like we talk about that in the book. You got a dirty car. You driving down the street and this lady says, I got 6 cases of waters for you. They all for you. You can't even put them in your trunk because you have no room for it. Your whole trunk is dirty. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. All of these things just started coming to me, man. I'm not going to take credit for this stuff and say that I'm just this crazy Confucius thinker. No, like it just was put in my hands and I was the person to facilitate it. I'm just the point guard. I'm just assistant. That's it.
And see, it's wild because the reason I asked that and I almost set you up because you went right into my trap because, you know, years ago I got sat down. God sat me down from everything. I mean, it was to the point where I was back to a BlackBerry. They was clowning me. I couldn't call nobody, couldn't see nothing. It was just, I was just dead to the world. Right. And I feel like what happened there for you, like it shows that the power of being alone is when you sit still enough, things can just come out of nowhere. And I heard you a number of times say it on Clubhouse, how many thoughts have you actually had that weren't influenced by outside, whether it's people, whatever, and being alone and actually like listening still. Mm-hmm. Like you could come up with things that you can't take credit for.
Our minds are clouded with so much gook. It's like a pipe in your like in your toilet or in your sink. It's so much stuff inside of there that's just clogging it up. If you just take time to take that pipe off, put some Drano down it or something and clean that pipe out, you know how fast water will flow through that drain? We're so clouded. We don't even realize that we don't make decisions for ourselves. We don't. We literally are just zombies of what we experience, of what we were taught, and our fears in society. Like I talk about it in the book about a woman who you want a man. You've been trying to find a man. You can't find a man. Somebody give you a great opportunity to find a man and you don't want it because of your pure ignorance of what you think other people are going to think. Why does everybody have that much power over our thoughts about what we do when it's supposed to be your life, your life? So self-reflection has to be a clear mind. And a clear mind, an open, clear mind is the greatest thing because you allow yourself to change. You allow yourself to evolve. You allow yourself to be better than yesterday because you are allowed to change your mind when you get new information. And if you stop new information from coming, you'll be the same person stuck in the same spot forever. Why not get into a arranged marriage where somebody that you trust will find you somebody that they did their due diligence with to find somebody that's a perfect match for you? Because it's not traditional, because it's not the way that Timmy and Mike live or how they got their wife or their husband.
I play this for my daughter when she gets older. Like, listen, man, he said, let daddy arrange your marriage. You know what I'm saying?
What is daddy going to do? Daddy's going to find you somebody, or he's going to try his hardest to find you somebody that is conducive with you because he's going to, we think we know ourselves, but there's people out here that know us better than us. Like, I know my daughter is gullible, or I know my son is strong, or I know this, or I know that. So I need to find somebody that's a perfect match to him versus being, because you will find somebody for your daughter that epitomizes what you believe in, and you will be focusing more on the interior than the exterior. Talk about that in the book. What do a car salesman do? He works on the exterior. He will put Sheila Shine on the side of the tires. He will wipe it, wax it. He will detail even the inside of the steering wheel and put an air freshener in there. to sell you the car to attract you because you like the way that it looks, but you never even opened the hood to realize there's no engine in there. He has no heart. He has nothing. Dad is going to find somebody that's right for that.
Right.
Why not be open for it? We not, because we want what they got. Man.
That's crazy, man. And I want to talk about two of those things at the same time. How you said, you're filled with, you're just a zombie filled with all of your experiences and influences. The pipe might be clogged up. You know what I mean? How cleansing it out. Like, I want to talk about how at the beginning of someone, whether they're trying to change, whether they're trying to cleanse their system out, turn their life around. No, even the first time you might try to meditate or read, anything that you try to do at the beginning, and let me know whether you agree or not. Don't you feel like the most resistance is at the beginning? If you try to do a cleanse of your body, you might poop for the next 3 hours and be like, oh, I can't be trying to cleanse my system out. I ain't got time to be on the toilet. Or you might try to turn your life around and stop sleeping with a bunch of women, and then out of nowhere, all these women are throwing themselves at you. Like, even the first time I tried to meditate, I felt so much anxiety. I'm like, yo, I can't do this. Like, my mind was just boom, 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 boom. And I want to encourage, and that's what the book remind you. The book made me realize that, like, wow, like, in the beginning of trying to change or embark on anything new, if you could just get past that initial clog, that initial cleanse, if you could just keep going, once you get over that mountaintop, that's when you'll hit the content that you got from this book, the realizations that you got. And it was dope that you were forced here, but if someone could force themselves to being alone long enough, you don't got to get knocked down in order to make that transition.
And I will always be the vice president to those people because I didn't choose that for myself. So there is a level of there's a level ladder where I'm just always going to be under you in the sense, because I was forced to sit down and I took advantage of that opportunity. If you could take the power to just do it yourself, you over me. You got your doctorate. I'm right under you with an MBA or whatever's under the doctorate. I don't know, because this is the thing. Anything in life worth having is worth fighting for, and anything worth fighting for takes. The universe has created this thing of convenience for us that we want that in every part of life. When you buying a water bottle, Deer Pork 24 bottles, you're buying the plastic. You're buying the convenience. You're not buying the water, because you could buy a gallon of water for 40 cents. You're buying the convenience, and we all want to grab and go. We always want to move fast. We want to grab and go, and we want what's easy. You got to take that sledgehammer and crack that easy button, because guess what? Anybody, you can see it. A person who wants to stop doing heroin, that wants to go cold turkey, do you know what they got to go through to stop it? I'm talking the itching, the scratching, the sweating, the vomiting. That's going to say, and there's only one way to stop it, like instantly. Get high again. So you either going to get high again or you going to fight through it. But who wants that perfect love story anyway, Beyonce said. Like, you should want to go through some heartache and pain to get somewhere, because you would know. That's why people cry when they get awards, and they cry when they open their businesses, because they know how much work they put in to get to that point. Resistance, people want to go to whatever is easy. So if being alone means being by myself and all my friends are mad at me, or they texting me saying that I'm a coward or I'm a bum, or I don't know if a lot of people can handle it, but if you can fight through it, it'd be so easy. It's really constant. My wife says that when a baby comes out of the vagina, it hurts so bad. Like, it's coming out, it hurts so bad. But as soon as the head comes out, you don't feel no other pain after that. Like, the rest of the body is no pain, is done. So hype yourself up to get past that pain threshold, and it's over. It's up, and you go, oh man. It makes me so hyped when people actually fight through it, because the hard part is just fighting through your mind. Because what's the Navy SEAL guy that everybody talk about, the black guy who was a Navy SEAL? He's a motivational speaker. He said we think with two
Goggins.
Yeah. He said we think with two parts of our brain in our mind. It's the mommy brain and it's the dark mode. The mommy part is, you did enough. You tried. It's okay. You could come back tomorrow. You could do it again next week. You gave it all you got. And that's the part of the body, that's the part of the mind that causes us to stop and say, we did enough. Oh, I did enough. Where it's just a little bit of resistance. But then it's that dark mode where you're pushing yourself past so many more limits that you didn't even realize that you could get to. Whether it's I only can do five push-ups. That's because I did 5 push-ups. That's 4, but you never really pushed yourself to see how far you can go. And like people don't want to do it, and that's what separates us.
Bro, you be giving a lot of game, man. You give a lot of game, and I don't want to skip over that at all because I think that can help anybody because let's be real, that's the country that we live in. We have been taught that fair, comfort, that's the brand, struggle over comfort. I'm using everything that you said to promote my brand. You know what I mean? Like, because that's...
Hey, for sale yet?
What'd you say?
For sale yet?
Nah, I ain't got them for sale. I just be low key. I just be doing it. You know what I mean? I will sell them. But that whole concept of choosing to struggle, I grew up thinking that struggle was bad, bro. I really did. I thought that rich people and other people who were successful, that once you get there, you no longer have to struggle no more. But I've learned to realize, no, you got to create struggle in order to stay out of the struggle you don't want, because no matter what, there's going to be struggle. Your car going to break down. You're going to need tires. Something's going to happen. The podcast, all my podcast equipment's gone. All of it's gone. My house just is flooded, bro. The whole second, third floor, I had COVID, so I was down for a week. It flooded for an entire week. Puddle on the second and third floor. I ain't been over there all week because I've been down with COVID. But so stuff like that's going to happen. But I'm not even pressed about it because we've been putting ourselves in struggles to the point where it don't matter. So if you're playing offense and you're making plays and you're putting yourself into struggles, you're creating a struggle. You buy this house, you're fixing it up. You've just created a new struggle. So when this house goes under, you got this place to live now. You know what I'm saying? So choose that, bro. And that's why it's profound that you say that. And I'm going to run this back and I'm going to promote that part because people need to hear that. If you could just get past that part, actually choose it. Run towards the struggle. Choose more struggle, man. You know what I mean? I think that's the key, bro.
But people do it in so many different ways subconsciously and don't even realize it, right? Women will wear shoes that they can't fit and be walking around all day for a goal or agenda to look beautiful. You put yourself through that much pain to look good. You could put yourself through a couple more pain. Like, stop allowing other people to put you through pain and you take it. Just put yourself through that pain. At least you know that this pain that you're putting yourself through has a goal or a strategy of you to be better. Like, you could take on everybody else's issues, everybody else's pain, domestics, all that stuff. Pain yourself by just getting away from everything. My wife do it now. Every 3 months, she go to a hotel by herself for the whole weekend. No kids, no nothing, and just rock out by herself. She actually need one coming up, actually. But yeah, like, go do your thing. Like, just be by yourself, figure things out. And when she come back. I was thinking, and I'm sitting here like, because I love ideas. I love hearing stuff because I love being a running back. She bring me the ball. I'm taking it to the house. Like, we going to figure it out together. That dynamic in our relationship is just amazing. You thought of that? Yeah. Being by yourself, you think of things, man. Ain't nothing like an unclouded mind. An open, unclouded mind? What's better than that, man? What's better than that?
That's dope, man. That is really dope. I'm going to bring that up with my lady. Like, I feel like, and I think it's needed because, you know, a lot of times the women in our life, I know we do a lot, but they do a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, a year just went by for my daughter. And when I really think about it, it was so easy for me because of how much my wife struggled taking care of her. And, you know what I mean? Thinking of things like that, bro, you know what I mean? I respect you for that, man. Iron sharpen iron. You encourage me. I'm going to start encouraging her. Take a weekend. Go. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? She might not do it because the baby, you know what I mean? She's addicted to her. My story's on her hip. But
you know your wife, right? So if you know your wife, you know what you got to do. So you might not even have to say or give her the opportunity to ask her. You might just got to be like, here, go here. I see you. Everything's taken care of. You don't have that option. And look, this is how I realized that part, right? Me and my wife went to Atlanta in January, and we was going up to we got off the flight and we was going up to Enterprise or one of those car places to get a rental car. And I got the car, had the reservation, get a lady my information, boom. She like, you want small, medium, large insurance? And I'm like, So she already put me in a bracket, right? Small, medium, or large. So she controlled my mind. This is how deep I think sometimes. Now, this is impressive if you ask me. She said small, medium, or large. I guess it's like the basic, medium, and then, big insurance plan for the car. She took my mind and put it in a box and said, think with these three. So a majority of the time, somebody's going to pick small, medium, or large. But I didn't allow her to close the box. I opened the box and said, I don't want to use any of those. I want to use my own insurance. And she said, okay. So they didn't even give me that option. So sometimes as a husband, you got to make sure you don't even give her that option. Yo, it's a John down the street that's already paid for. You can't say, no, I got the baby. See you. Because you already know the impact that it's going to have on her. And it's going to have to be like that. Sometimes I don't even, oh, you think I'm going to be driving around asking my wife what she wants to eat? No, I'm coming in the house with what I got, where I'm at, and she's going to have to eat that. Because if I ask her what she wants to eat, I'll be in Beaver Falls looking for this chicken spot, looking for something that she's seen on Instagram, and I ain't trying to do all that. So I control the parameters, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, I respect that, man. Okay, I respect that 100%. I'm gonna definitely have to do that. I'm gonna just jump on it, you know what I mean, and I'm gonna just pop up on it with it, man. But yeah. So moving forward more with the book, I want to talk about two more things, and if there's anything you want to talk about. But I want to get to unemployment on purpose. But before we get there, one topic in the book that I also think is important is, let's see what it's called. What's the chapter called that's about building a routine? Is that what it's called? Build a routine?
Build a routine, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Bruh, let's break this down, man. What led you here? And let's talk about why it's important to develop a routine.
Well, it's important to develop a routine because you recognizing your issues. You recognize that certain things aren't getting done in the time that you want to, or like, I mean, I don't know if you can attest to this, but you go a whole day and somebody at the end of the day, like, how was your day? What you do? And you just like can't even think about what you did because you really didn't do anything. Right. So my children, they're home from school and they need structure. They need I-10 by 10 just to keep them on schedule because that's how you build a habit. It takes 21 days or 30 days to build a habit, make a habit, or break a habit. So you got to be able to say to yourself, I struggle at this thing and this thing and this thing. If I have a schedule and I do this thing this way, everything will be right the way that I want it. And I can get in control of my life or get control of my time. You know what it's like getting up 5 o'clock in the morning, going to the market before everybody up. You go to the market, do what you got to do, come home, make breakfast. Do what you're doing, make breakfast. Then I go upstairs, wake the kids up, get them ready for school, make sure that they eat breakfast. Then I make sure that they in school, and then I'm writing a little bit in my book. And then at this time at 10:36, my alarm go off. I had this time where I have 45 minutes of just stillness where I don't have to do nothing. Then I go down here, By the time it's 2 o'clock, I'm yawning. People just getting up, and I'm looking at the day like, what you do, bruh? Because we need structure. We all need structure. When you're in the military, they break you down 4 o'clock in the morning to get you up. They break you down. You got to be broke down. And I learned that about his book by James Clear called Atomic Habits, and talks about your habits. And like, you struggle with things, you create the habits to help with, like, if you want to drink water, like he says, you have a problem drinking water, put water everywhere. He's like, what does that mean? Get a case of water, put it next to your bed, put a case of water in your car, put a case of water all in your refrigerator, eliminate all juice. And what would that do? Create you to drink water. You're forcing yourself to drink water. So sometimes you got to put yourself through some things to just be on task. And I use I'll talk about some apps that I use, the to-do list app. A lot of times we just be like, I'm gonna do this later, and then you forget. No, I put it right into my app, and then my app will say, bring, you said you was gonna do this at 4 o'clock. It's 4:03. Is it done? So it's just like building a routine to stay on top of it. Because if you just, man, how many times you been on Instagram for like 2 hours and be like, damn, time went past so fast, or it ain't by design that they got those related videos on YouTube. So you watch a video, then it automatically go to another video that they think you're going to watch, and it become a click stick, and you just sitting there all day watching videos.
Right, and TikTok does it the best. My wife sent me a TikTok video the other day. I went down a rabbit hole. And it's been, I ain't going to say it's been years since I went down rabbit hole, but like TikTok's good. And bro, I think that's dope, man. You know what I mean? Because routine, honestly, changed things for me. You know what I mean? There was a time where just life was just bad for me. When God knocked me down once again, and He just took everything, it just created this darkness and this depression. And routine not only brought me out of that, but changed everything, because I realized that my daily routine, like when I looked at it, I'm like, you can really tell what you're gonna get.
Mm.
Feel what I'm saying? And I was studying Puff and Warren Buffett and all of these people. And Puff was waking up at this time, and 15 minutes later checking emails, and he got a meeting here, phone call here, boom, boom, all the way until the time he goes to sleep. Same thing with Warren Buffett. Same thing with Oprah. And I'm noticing all of these successful people, it's just nonstop. Every single second is accounted for. And I'm like, man, I'm running around over here telling this person yes, building with this person, and doing this, and I'm working extremely hard, but nothing is getting done.
Mm-hmm.
And the routine showed me to first take a step back and say, all right, this is what God got for you. This is your health. This is family. Let's create a routine around all of that. And now it's really changed everything, because before I go to bed, almost like you, I create my to-do list, and my day is mapped out until the time I go to sleep, from family time to health to the business to the real estate to stocks, every single second.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a game changer, man. And your book reminded me, yo, I need to, because every week, bro, I try to tighten it up and tighten it up and tighten it up. And I think that's what one of the most important things about this book that'll change people's lives is routine, being able to say no, cleaning as you go, pros and cons and limitations. We didn't even get a chance to get into that. Recognizing the problem I think recognizing the problem is number one. I could be wrong, just because I think that's the beginning before you even get a routine, before you even know that you need to sit down. You need to know that it's time to sit down. And I think recognizing the problem is number one for that. You know what I'm saying? And then sitting still just so you can add to your routine. I think those you got some ingredients in here, bro.
Yeah, I'm trying to make a sloppy Joe, man.
You really got some ingredients in here, man. I want to see if maybe I'll post the link below, man, for anybody. If there's anybody out there that got a question for my man, drop your questions now. But before we go, man, let's talk about this unemployed on purpose, man. So you don't work, you quit the job, you just entrepreneur straightforward.
Yep.
How's that working out, man? And what was the time period from the time of quitting till now where you started to see a little bit of light? You know what I mean?
Unlearning stuff. Like, I used to be terrified of my father when I was a kid. Like, my dad wasn't abusive or nothing like that. He just was a strong man, and I was his son, and he instilled a lot of things into me that, caused me to have some pause in things that I did, or have pause in my thoughts, knowing that I had a dad who was an active dad, who was a cool dad, who was a fair dad. But if you got out of line, it was going to be some consequences and repercussions. So I remember sometimes getting in trouble in school and be on my way home, and I know I got a bad report card or a bad note or a phone call home. And I was like, yo, when I get grown, I ain't never going to be scared of nothing. This man is going to be the last thing I'm ever scared of. When I get grown, why would I ever be scared? I'm going to walk this earth. And I was just like, all right. Then it's like people like at work were like saying they're going to call my boss or they're going to do this. And I started to feel these same feelings I had when I was scared of my dad. And I'm like, why the fuck? Oh, excuse me. Why am I scared of this man? Like, it's just a check. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why am I scared? And I started to think, like, this joint holding me back. You know what I mean? And things are going on around me. My homegirl, shout out to her, my homegirl Maui. She was on tour. She's an awesome writer, author, poet. I'm on tour with her, holding it down on the weekends. And she called me on Monday, like, I'm in Miami today. And then she fly to Texas the next day, and I can't go and be her security and be there because I feel like I got the best interest in heart for her. I'm going to protect her. And I can't be there because I'm at this job. And I got to ask for permission to use my personal days. Like, it's a personal day. If I call and say I'm using a personal day, it's a personal day. But why are you taking a personal day? Why do I got to tell you why I'm taking a personal day? God rest my daughter. So my daughter had passed away in probably 2014, about 2014. And they called me and was like, we're sorry for your loss, but when do you think you'll be back at work? Now, they have to ask those questions, right? That's a job. It's a business. I understand that. But didn't sit right with me. Like, I lost, something that came from me. You know what I mean? And you asking me when I'm coming back to kill roaches? Like, is we? Oh no, we just trying to make sure so we can set the schedule. Like, these are things that like y'all got to do, but I had to hear these things to understand that like I can't get too comfortable being here. And then being at these every year you got these classes where you all get to sit and everybody from all of the company from all around the world, they sit down. I'm Bob and I've been here for 43 years. They're like, whoa, Bob's been here 43 years. And he's 36 years and he's 17 years. And I'm like, yeah, I've been here 7 years. I'm like, I don't want to be here no 40 years talking about roaches. So it's just about me building the courage, man, and just saying, you know what, my wife she had my back, and I said, yo, they'll dangle money over your head and tell you that this is what you're worth, but you ain't worth what they tell you worth. You worth what you earn and what you believe you worth. So I'm like, yeah, you making $25 an hour, you gonna be good. Like, that ain't no money to me. I sell one book, that's $20. I did that in 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So I understand the value of money, but I understand the thing that flat out just is not over talk. I know the value that I add and I know what my time is worth. And going to a job every day, doing something that I could never solve a problem because it's going to consistently be a problem, I can't do it. So I just decided to quit. And I quit in 2019, November. And I've been unemployed on purpose ever since.
Man, I love that, bro. I love that, man. That's inspiring, man. That's inspiring to me, man.
I said, I realized I did this Crush 30 thing. I created a formula that works for me. Basically, this is what you do. This is anybody who's listening. If you want to quit, I'm not telling you to quit. I'm not saying it's easy because I struggle. I go through things too. But my happiness is the thing that I will love the most. Some days I wake up, I don't even know what the day is. I can control my life the way I want to control it. I don't have to worry about the stresses of emails and people complaining, saying I cut them off on the road. But the Crush 30 thing is like this. You take all your bills, everything you pay for in a month, subscriptions, your electric, your mortgage, your car note, your insurances, everything that you pay all month. You take it, you add it all up, and then you divide it by 30. If you divide all your bills by 30, everything that you pay, all your expenses by 30, that's like 30 days in a month. That will tell you how much money you need to make a day to be able to provide the lifestyle that you have just for your bills. So let's just say I looked at it as, and I copied it from like when you go rent a car or you go to like rent a hotel, they tell you the room is $97 a day. So you know that the room is $97 a day. So add up all those things and maybe it might come up to like $43 a day or something like that. So that means you got to pay $43 a day to live the life that you live. You times that by 3 because you want to have your bills, then you want to have your savings, and then you want to have your pocket money. So if you times, let's say $40 a day, you times that, that's $120. So all you have to make is $120 a day to keep your lifestyle up or do better than the lifestyle that you have. And if you minimize the idea of what you're spending in your mind, you take care of your mind, it becomes easier to digest than saying, oh, my mortgage is $1,500, my car note is $600. There's too many numbers to think about. But if you divide them all together by 3, that's by 30, your bills is like $40 a day. It's like, can I drive Uber for 2 hours and get $40 a day and then have the rest of my day to focus on what I want to do and still be able to live the lifestyle that I lived already? Just simplifying everything to make it make sense. And that was the last thing that helped me because I got children, I got a wife, I got a mortgage. That's what made me actually leap without a parachute because I knew that I can attain money by doing anything. If you want to drive Uber, drive Uber. I don't drive Uber, but I would if COVID wasn't out here. But I've been blessed to find things, and being alone has made me find things. I got a candle business. I got Unemployed on Purpose. I got my author. You know what I mean? I do content creation for different companies and brands, and I do management and things like that. So just want to be happy, man.
I feel it.
Sorry, that was
Chad Black. Power of being alone. You know what I'm saying? We got my man Chaz Anderson said you brave IUP in the building. You already know.
Kiki, what's up?
You already know Mika, man. He's a great dude, man. Make sure y'all go follow him, man. Brocom Chad on Facebook. Instagram is what, Chad Black.
Blackie Chad on Instagram.
Okay. And for those of you who are interested in the book, if you are tuned in right now, share this right now and say, I need this book. And the first 3 people that share this and say, I need this book, I'm purchasing on it. Whitted Media is going to purchase that book for you. Make sure y'all share this. Check this out. It's life-changing, man. Anything else? I'm going to let you close it out. Anything else you want to say?
Hey, man, listen. This is a quote that I've recently heard in the last couple weeks. I'm reading a couple books right now. Right now, I'm reading this book called The Four Agreements. It's a great book. I love you too, Maui. You're amazing. It says, others are going to have their opinion according to their belief system. So nothing they think about me is really about me, but it's all about them. So try to understand that there is a shift in life where people are taking their opinions and they're trying to persuade the world and speak of them as their facts. But understand what an opinion is. An opinion is based on what they feel, based on how they live, how they grew up, what they know, and what their ignorances are. So please don't allow people's opinions of you, good or bad, to represent what you believe. Because if you allow somebody else's opinion to take over your mind, that's something that you really believe, really, and you stole their agreement. So understand that if it's not fact and it's an opinion, what are we talking about? Why does it have so much validity in our life? Because that changes who we are. If you was in the mirror for 2 hours saying you're beautiful and somebody say, ew, you ugly, and you let them that 1 second comment take over that 2 hours, you believed you were ugly from the beginning. So understand self-love, understand who you are, and understand, don't be mad that it's over. Be excited that it happened. And I appreciate you, Seth. Bird, you know how it is, man. You know the vibes. You know, if there's anything that I could do with anything that you got going on, I got your back. I need that shirt as soon as it's ready. And I just appreciate the time, man. Thank you so much.
My bro, man, it's on, man. Appreciate you having. Make sure y'all go get that book. Remember, the first 3 people that share it and say I need this book, it's free on Whitted Media. I'm gonna post the link here in the comment section. I'ma holla at you, bro.
All right, brother. What I do now? Just turn it off.
Nah, I'm just gonna end out. I'm just gonna